How's it going today, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day so far. So what we're going to be talking about in this video today are the three biggest things out there that are absolutely keeping most people broke. Now, I don't think I'm going to be making any friends in this video because I'm not holding anything back here. These are honestly three of the things out there that if you're doing these three things, they are going to be putting a huge dent in your wallet. Now, I'm not telling you guys to avoid these things at all costs. All I'm trying to say is at least plan for them and understand how big of an expense these three things can be for you. Okay, so number one, the first thing on my list here, as far as things that are keeping people broke, is going to be children. Now, I know I'm gonna get a lot of people saying that I'm some kind of jerk for saying that, but the honest truth is raising a child is extremely expensive. So every single year, the US Department of Agriculture releases figures on how much it costs to raise a child. And the most recent figure for this is that to raise a kid from 0 to 17, from birth to 17, is going to cost on average $233,610. And if you plan on having 2, 3, or 4 kids, just go ahead and multiply that figure by that number, and it could easily cost you upwards of close to $1 million raising children. Now again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have kids just based on financial reasons, because obviously having kids is not a financial decision. It's something that you do because you want to do it and you want to have kids. What I'm simply saying is at least plan for how much it's going to cost you financially if you do decide to have children. And a better figure for this is looking at the cost per year. And in that report, they indicated it costs on average $14,000 per year to raise a kid. But we know that that's actually not the true cost, because that is assuming that you just took that money and did absolutely nothing with it. What if you, instead of having a kid, invested that money? What would that look like? And again, I just want to restate this. I am not saying don't have kids at all. I'm just saying plan for it financially. The true cost of that $14,000 per year over 17 years, if you invested that in the market at an 8% return, that is actually $472,000, and that's actually the true cost of having a kid, because that is the lost opportunity cost of that money, because you probably wouldn't take that money and just plop it in the bank. You would be investing it and earning some rate of return. So the true cost of raising a child from birth to age 17 is about $472,000, making this one of the biggest things out there that are absolutely keeping people broke. Okay, number two on the list, hopefully I don't get as much crap for in the comment section below, and that is driving new cars for your entire life. I hope that most of you now know that cars are an absolutely terrible investment in most cases, because they depreciate in value very quickly and they just take money out of your pocket month after month. And a lot of people get in this really bad habit of buying brand new cars every 5 or 6 years. And I want to show you guys just how much this is going to cost you over your lifetime. So according to Experian, the average monthly car payment for a brand new car is $530 per month. Now, if that alone is not a shocking enough figure, how much is that actually worth over your entire lifetime? So if instead of driving that brand new car, you invested that money, how much money is it actually costing you to drive that brand new car? So the cost of driving a brand new car from age 25 to 65 at $530 per month is an astounding $254,400. But if you instead took that $530 per month and invested it, again, at an 8% return in that time period, you would have a portfolio value of over $1.6 million. So the true cost of driving a brand new car from age 25 to 65 is actually a $1.6 million cost by driving a brand new car. And you might be saying to yourself that nobody really does this, but I can honestly tell you that I used to work with people at my old job that would buy a new car, not every 5 years, but literally every 2 years. This one person I worked with would go to the dealership and trade in her car for a brand new one, and it's just astronomical how much that ends up costing you in the long run. So the second thing keeping most people broke is driving a new car, or just simply driving a car that is more expensive than they can realistically afford. And then third and finally, the third thing keeping people broke is renting. Now you might be saying to me right now, that doesn't make any sense, because whether or not you're renting or paying down a mortgage, it's usually about the same amount of money, but that is just not the case, and I'm going to show you guys exactly why that is. So let's go ahead and look at two scenarios here. Scenario one is if you are renting and paying $1,500 per month for rent. And then scenario two is instead if you purchased a home and you were paying a $1,500 mortgage. And right now that would buy you a house worth about $315,000. That would be a mortgage payment of $1,500 per month. Well, after 30 years, that's the typical length of a mortgage, if you rented for that entire duration, you have exactly 0% equity in that property because you were never paying anything down in the process. You were paying down the mortgage for somebody else and you got no equity in the process. After 30 years of paying down the mortgage on the property you purchased, you would own 100% and have 100% equity in that property. Now, the total cost in both of these scenarios is about $540,000, but at the end of renting for 30 years, you're left with absolutely $0 because you have no equity. And at the end of scenario two, if you actually purchase that home, even though it did cost you $540,000 in the long run, that house would likely be worth about $856,000 once you factor in the appreciation of the value of that home. And on average, real estate is appreciating at about 3.4% per year. And so basically by purchasing your own home, you hope that you will eventually own it once you pay down that mortgage, and then you are in complete control of an asset that could be worth, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, owning a home is obviously not the best investment you can make out there, but it's certainly a lot better than just renting for your entire life in most cases. So that is the third thing that is keeping people broke, is not buying a home or not owning their primary residence and renting for their entire life. Now, before you guys get angry in the comment section below, I know that there are some generalizations being made here. And obviously, regardless, even if you're not driving a new car, you're gonna have to drive a used car, and that is going to come at some kind of expense for a car payment or for your repairs. And yes, there are expenses associated with owning a home, like repairs or private mortgage insurance or HOA, anything like that. But regardless of those other costs, these three things are what are keeping most people out there broke, and these are mistakes that you can avoid yourself if you're looking to be, financially well off in the future. But anyways, guys, that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this. If you agree or if you disagree with me, I would love to hear what you guys think. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for notifications, and I will see you in the next video.